the oracle also ends up in the story.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're going to go back and talk about the sacred feminine. You did a TEDx talk. It's called Reclaiming the Feminine. What is the feminine, and why is it worth less than the masculine?
Yeah, so I got a lot of I don't know, attacks. Just using the word the feminine can trigger a lot of people, which is what I realized in these past 10 years, and which to me is indicative that there's a problem, right? If a word triggers someone, then there's a problem. So I think to me, and there's so many different ways one can define the feminine, but to me, we have two genders, right? Men and women, and I know this could also be questioned, but anyway, there are within each human being different aspects to us. I mean, you could call it yin and yang with another cultural context, or you could call it masculine and feminine. They're two polarities that are complementary and that are both needed. And so one could say that we have these qualities within us that we could call feminine, because they're more linked to the giving of life and the nurturing of life, which is what mothers do and women do in terms of actually giving life. And so these feminine qualities to me are about nurturing and caring, but they're also about empathy, about intuition. So you could almost say left brain, right? So one could put different words to it. But the more I looked into this, I felt like there was a parallel between what is being valued in our societies and the feminine and masculine qualities, and then how men and women are valued in terms of what they offer. So let me explain. So we live in a model where, in the business context, it's the rational mind that's being valued, right? You have to be objective, you have to be linear, you always have to be well. I mean, there's a certain stereotype of how we need to be in the workplace that one could really map onto a certain type of qualities. And then there's a whole other set of qualities that every human being has, no matter what their gender is: intuition, empathy, compassion, connection, ability to really sense and receive information in a way that is not through the rational analytical mind. And so I'm calling that feminine. And these qualities have not been valued to the same extent. And I think that if you look at our history as well, there were a lot of women, especially in Europe, the women who were the holders of some occult and esoteric knowledge, or who knew about plants, who knew about healing. I mean, these women were all killed, basically. 1 million witches were killed during the Middle Ages. So we wiped out the women who were holders of a certain type of being and a certain type of knowledge. And in our subconscious, this means that you cannot be like that, right? I mean, there's like this fear, this collective subconscious fear as a woman. If you go down that way, you will be killed by the system. So if you put all of this together, there are qualities within each of us that we hold as less valuable, and therefore we don't develop them to the same extent. And then as a society, women who traditionally tend to have more of those qualities are not, or even nurturing, giving life, staying at home as a mom, it's not being valued to the same extent, like by our economic system. So the economic system is totally biased against a certain type of behaving. And then the third layer is the earth, right, which is, if we call it the Mother Earth, the ultimate source of all of life. And the way we have been pillaging the earth, I mean, is again indicative of the same pattern of behavior, the same pattern. We are just taking, extracting. We have an economic model built on extraction of resources. How is that ever going to be sustainable? I mean, it's completely absurd. You need the cyclical, you need the spaces for rest and regeneration at the level of the earth and at the level of the human. So there's all these parallels within parallels of the masculine, the feminine, and how we are still completely out of balance.
Thanks for sharing. I love that. What is the heart of the labyrinth? What does it signify?
So the labyrinth, there can be many metaphors, and again, to ancient Greece, I think a lot of people think of the labyrinth, I mean, Minos on Crete and this more square labyrinth, but originally, labyrinths used to be of spiral form, and there was only one way in and one way out. And so in a way, it's almost like a metaphor for the process of walking within yourself into the depths. It's the inner journey of walking into the depths of your being. And there may be some minotaurs that have to be slain, which are your own inner demons. The heart is, well, what do you find when you go all the way down and deep into the center of your essence, of your being, of who you are?
Very nice. Do you mind sharing with us your favorite passage in the book?
Because we're talking about Greece and about the oracles, there's a part that came to me, which is the oracle speaking. So we're talking several thousand years ago. So this is the priestess who's dedicated to Gaia. And this is what she says. So I'm going to read to you what she says. I have been your guardian and guide for millennia, holding you in harmony and peace, protecting you as you were protecting me, blessing you with abundance as you were blessing me with love and gratitude. This symbiotic relationship is soon going to end. Ahead of us lies a time of great turmoil, a time when humans will separate themselves from my body and no longer live in harmony, but behave as a virulent parasite, attacking its loving host. The disconnection will occur very slowly, over millennia, accelerating with the passing of time as the memory of past rituals and grace fall into oblivion. Not all will be affected. Some women and some men will continue to feel life pulsating through their veins. They will feel the pain of a dying tree in their own bodies and cry in bliss at the sight of dew upon a newborn leaf. They will strive to restore harmony, but their struggle will be arduous and the outcome is uncertain.
Thank you. This book offers a message of earth-centered wisdom. So for those of you who are interested, you'd have to read to find out what that wisdom is. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the subconscious that you mentioned earlier. It's about dreams, which appears actually a lot in the novel Dreams and Visions. Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychiatrist, he saw dreams as the psyche's attempt to communicate important things to the individual. He also believed that dreams are an important part of the personality development, a process that he called individuation. I know you have your own views on the dreams, so do you mind sharing that with the audience?
Yes, of course. I think Carl Jung is very inspiring, and his body of work is very, very important, everything he says. And in addition to that, I would say that a lot of indigenous cultures say that a civilization that is no longer dreaming is sick, at risk of dying. And what that indicates is that indeed dreams are, it's information from the subconscious that is coming to the surface, that is there to guide us, to give us insight, information, inspiration, creativity, anything really. And so dreams are, to me, they're important. They need to be nurtured and they need to be shared and also acted upon on many levels. So I definitely agree with what Carl Jung said, and I think it's important to pay attention to that. It's important to pay attention to that, and to a lot of people say they don't remember their dreams anymore. Right, so
I don't remember my dreams. I think I'm actually going through a period where I don't dream that much, or at least I don't remember them.
Yeah, I think our modern lifestyle is making it difficult because we're so stressed, we're so tired, we wake up with our alarm clocks, we have a schedule. So it's like we're not leaving any space anymore for the dreams. Mm-hmm. If you compare that to some indigenous cultures where still today, they will get up, maybe even in the middle of the night. And some cultures, they had, the first part of sleep and then the second part of sleep. and gather together around the fire and share their dreams. So the more you put attention on something, then of course the more it will blossom, and the more that part of your life can have the space to bring that information to you. So often when people say to me, yeah, I don't remember my dreams, and then we start talking about dreams, or we're in a group where people talk about dreams, then very often they'll come back the same day and they said, oh my God, I've dreamt last night. I haven't remembered a dream in 10 years. So it's just the fact of putting the attention to that and allowing that part to come up, and there being space for it, can make a big difference.
And also a creative mind is a very relaxed mind. Yeah, we can't create if we're always on the go and stressed out about everything. It just blocks all the creativity.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Neons, Deeper Than Beauty. Neons is a science-based Swiss luxury skincare and nutritional supplement brand focused on activating the body's natural ability to rejuvenate and regenerate for a more vital, youthful, and energetic appearance. Powered by groundbreaking furnace biotechnology, its award-winning formulas with the exclusive Swiss Glacier Complex combine over 100 powerful, natural, active ingredients with leading clinical research. One of my favorite products from Neons is the Collagen Hyaluron Beauty Booster, which is a nutritional supplement that I've been taking for the last 3 years. As its name suggests, it contains high concentrations of marine collagen and hyaluronic acid, as well as multiple essential vitamins and minerals. It comes in a powdery mix, and I drink a sachet of it every morning with water. And for me, this is the super easy beauty ritual that helps to boost not only my skin and hair, but also my bones, nails, and joints. It's 100% made in Switzerland, free from gluten, lactose, and sugar. So I hope you'll give it a try. You can find Neons online at neons.com. That is NIANCE.com. As listeners of my podcast, you can benefit from 15% discount by using the promo code TheFounderSpirit15 on neons.com. Again, that is NIANCE.com. Now we're going to talk about your current role as the executive director of 1T.org, serving the global reforestation movement to conserve, restore, and grow 1 trillion trees by 2030, and catalyzing a new generation of ecopreneurs. It's almost like you're bringing together your background in natural sciences and public policy, and it's coming around full circle. You're working now to restore nature. How do you create this restoration generation?
Yeah, so the restoration generation is the hashtag of the UN decade for ecosystem restoration, which started in 2021 until 2030. And I find it very inspiring as a hashtag because it's, if you think about it, we were talking before about an extractive economic model, right? So I think we have been, and still are to some extent, the destruction generation, to put it bluntly. And if we want to get on a sustainable pathway, we have to, even doing no harm is not enough anymore because we're way past that point.
Yeah.
So not only is it about doing no harm, but it's about restoring the ecosystems that have been damaged. So, and restoring, you could apply it to the earth, but also to humans.
To continue listening to this episode, please visit thefounderspirit.com or search for The Founder Spirit on Apple, Spotify, or Google Podcasts. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Jennifer Wu.